G'day, how you going? Not too bad? Oh yeah, my name is Matthew Cleese and welcome to my YouTube channel, A Quantum G'day. Alright guys, chemtrails. Fair dinkum, bloody chemtrails. I would like to talk about chemtrails today. I think it is a very important topic, something worth covering. Something we all need to start talking about a bit more. There's a lot of chemtrailing happening in the world right now, and a lot of people are already talking about it, but I think it is a topic that needs to be dealt with fairly soon. It's very important. It's really affecting the environment and our health as a collective. That's how I see it. It's a pretty important issue. Yeah, it's hard to talk about. I've got a lot of respect for those people that are talking about this topic. I understand how hard it is, but I think we need to talk about it. So, what are chemtrails? Chemtrails are those trails that come out of the back of aeroplanes. They stay in the sky. They cover a large section of the sky without dissipating. They sink in the sky and they slowly spread. And they're usually together, and they sort of mat the sky and leave a haze. That's how to differentiate chemtrails between chemtrails and contrails. Contrails dissipate immediately following aeroplanes. It's very obvious. Chemtrails sink and slowly spread in the sky and mat the sky with a haze. So they can stay there for hours too at times. I've seen trails staying in the sky for up to an hour and then slowly starting to spread, and they spread slowly. So they come and go, I find. Where I live is right under a very busy highway in the sky. Aeroplanes heading south, where I live in central Queensland, and at times every 10 to 15 minutes there'll be a plane. That's how busy it can get. And there's not always chemtrails. I find they come and go. They can sometimes not be there for months at a time, and even weeks. And so I've been fairly observant. I've got a newfound interest in watching the sky for obvious reasons, because there's cool stuff that happens up there. So I've become very observant in watching this, and I do live under a very busy plane highway. One thing I've started to notice is that they happen leading up to wet weather events. I have noticed, not always, I have noticed that leading up to overcast or a rain event, within a few days is when it will happen. It'll come in. And even just with overcast weather, I've seen trailing in the sky. But yeah, just without overcast weather or a rain event happening, I have just seen straight up what I would call pollution. I just call it straight up pollution. But I have noticed there's a commonality where it happens leading up to a rain event. So that's what I've noticed. I've been fairly observant over the last couple of years. So what are chemtrails? Well, I don't know. Research that I've done states that they're spraying heavy metals, metal particles, aluminium or aluminum, strontium, barium, and who knows what else. And yeah, what who knows what is in this stuff. Definitely some toxic ingredients, I can imagine. So that's what chemtrails are. That's how I see chemtrails and how I perceive them to be. And a lot of other people are sharing similar information regarding as to what they are. So why chemtrails? Well, geoengineering, a lot of people, white cockatoo, a lot of people are saying it's for geoengineering, weather control, weather manipulation, controlling the weather. So solar radiation management is a term I've come across a lot lately. Just apart from controlling the weather, as in rain events, I have noticed people talking about solar radiation management. Now, what I understand this to be is in an effort to stop global warming. You know, they're trying to say it's to stop the temperature rising. We're going to blanket the sky, stop the heat, the sunlight coming in an effort to keep the temperature lower. That's one thing I've come across. You know, trying to control the temperature, which does not make any sense to me whatsoever. You can't artificially control a naturally functioning system. You know, this planet's alive, you've got to let her do her own thing and regulate herself. And I think we've just got to leave it up to nature to look after itself. I don't think you should be trying to control nature. So that's my look at that, my bit of a spin on that. You know, obviously weather control and weather manipulation leading up to rain events. Do they want to stop the rain, or are they creating rain? Is the trailing close to a rain event increasing the rain flow, or the amount of rain that's going to be there, or is it drying it up? I noticed last year and the last couple of years we haven't had a lot of rain, and all the weather up here has just been completely erratic. You can't really pick it. And that's straight after a lot of flooding, years of flooding, so which is out of the ordinary as well. It's very erratic behaviour. Is it nature counter-reacting, like coughing, I suppose, if you sort of look at it that way? And I think the weather all around the planet has been quite erratic lately. I don't think it's just where I live in central Queensland. So, you know, why else geoengineering? Other information I've come across states that rain affects our economy, makes sense, and a lot of people that are making money through our structures and our systems and our economy and whatnot, when rain events happen, that flow of money stops. Production, the flow stops due to nature doing its thing, and you know, I understand that. So that's another way to look at it. Why you would want to manipulate weather. I have come across some information, some articles I've read where people are talking about, you know, we've kind of gone in between no information coming out about this over who knows how long, to information starting to come out about this now, and the politically correct term now, because it's gotten to such a noticeable level, is geoengineering. Okay, so beware of information coming out stating geoengineering. Okay, I completely respect that that's what it is. It is technically geoengineering, but be aware of information coming out stating that this is geoengineering. This isn't geoengineering. It's not normal. It's chemtrails. Okay. When you're trying to manipulate a living, functioning system, it's not geoengineering. It's just chemtrails. That's how I see it. So I think there is an effort from whoever is doing this to push the agenda that this is geoengineering, and it's fine. We've got this covered. We've given it a slightly fancier name, geoengineering. Sit back down, watch TV, it's all good, okay? Be aware of that. So I don't think this should be normalised at all. Yeah, far out. Okay, we'll continue. Chemtrails, that's what they are. So geoengineering, we've already covered that. Why geoengineering? Population control. Okay, I can really resonate and understand with this. Population control. Heavy metals, what does this do? This toxifies your body, okay? It might affect the weather, but that is going into your soil, our air, we're breathing it, our water. This is toxifying everything, okay? It's going to have that effect. That's why there's heavy metals in fluoride. That's why it's in your water. That's why there's heavy metals in vaccines. Why are we exposed to so many heavy metals? Now we're breathing this stuff, okay? It's going to toxify your body. Heavy metals. What does that do? That, in turn, dumbs you down. It's the only way I can see it. It will dumb you down. It will stop your body, okay? It will stop your mind functioning properly. That's the result of having a toxified body from heavy metals. This affects your nervous system. Has anyone noticed autism increasing? I know it's only a label. I don't know how to really gauge it, but autism is increasing. Alzheimer's is increasing. This stuff is having an effect on our nervous systems. Okay, that is how I see that. Heavy metals pretty much disable your pineal gland as well. It's going to stop you from realizing what you're capable of, keeping you in that medicated, sedated state. So that's how I perceive it toxifying our bodies. And there are people talking about it being done in an effort to stop the ascension process happening, the raise in frequency, the higher levels of consciousness flooding the planet right now. That's inevitably going to happen and continue and really turn into something awesome. But there's people saying that this is being done in an effort to stop that from happening, trying to slow it down pretty much in a way, if that's how you look at it. So that's another way it can be population control. People are saying that it's blocking the sunlight. The sunlight is what we need to grow and evolve, and through sunlight we're getting a lot of that information, how to evolve, that's helping us, you know, step up, raise our frequency into this next chapter of existence that we're all starting to awaken into and experience. Blanketing the sky, blocking that sunlight, reflecting it, whatever, and toxifying our bodies at the same time is inhibiting that ascension process. So that's other information I've come across, which I can resonate with and understand. It makes sense. Why is there fluoride in the water? We'll just leave it at that. So, you know, our frequency is rising, and I can perceive how this is an attempt to stop that. I really can. But I can also understand why people would see that, probably more so than the weather control. Like where I am, I've noticed it, even though I have seen pollution, just straight up trails that slowly spread in the sky. I have noticed it leading up to weather events, rain events. That's a commonality that I've noticed. So, you know, this could be being done for a number of reasons, but the population control side, yes, the pollution's not going to have any good effect whatsoever. So I can really understand, you know, why it's happening. The heavy metals do affect your pineal gland and how it functions and disables it pretty much. And, you know, that's not good for anyone. So I can sort of get my head around that. You know, it is a medicating type effect. Being exposed to that, it is being medicated, these heavy metals and whatever else is in that stuff. Okay, other information I've come across too states that it could be done for national security reasons. Having particles flooded in the atmosphere, in the sky, makes it easier for people protecting areas of land to disable weaponry and whatnot. You can really send signals through an atmosphere that's filled with particles and disarm weapons and whatnot. I've come across information like that as well. But the way I see it is weather control and polluting the environment, our bodies. That's really the only two ways I can perceive this. And, you know, why do you need to disable weapons and missiles anyway? That's pretty crazy. You shouldn't even have to worry about that. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, I encourage research. This YouTube channel, I don't push any beliefs. I'm not trying to sell anyone on chemtrails or push beliefs about chemtrails. I am connecting with the other people who are sharing information regarding this topic. So if this is new to you, this information, I suggest doing research. Get your own perception of this. Get your own idea. See what's going on. Okay, become observant. Actually become observant. I only started knowing about this, seeing it, picking up on commonality, stuff happening when I became very observant. And I started to become observant after a newfound interest in looking in the skies. And it sticks out, it's pretty obvious. So become observant for yourself. This might take up to a year. And really get your own perception of it happening and see it for yourself. If you're observant enough every day, you're going to start seeing commonalities that you can pick up on with this phenomenon. So become observant and use discernment. Be patient. You'll start seeing it for yourself. Okay, don't over invest emotions into it. I did that. I had a pretty hard time dealing with this, and I invested a lot of emotions into it, and that wasn't helping me, it wasn't helping anyone. It was just making things worse. But you know, you're allowed to get angry every now and then, and yeah, don't let it override everything else. Your judgment, your emotions, whatever. But some people are going to be affected by it. Shit, you've got to go through that process if you do. I understand that, so, but that's my advice. I've come across information where people have had a hard time dealing with this, and there's people out there, this is bloody scary, there's people out there, I don't know if this is just super duper new age programming or what, but there's people out there saying, just revert back into your higher self. You know, you're not going to be affected. Your fifth dimensional body is not going to be affected. You know, what? Just ignore it. And why are you even here, you know? So, that's scary. That's just pretty much trying to tell people to ignore it. I don't think it's something that needs to be ignored. But, you know, we've got to deal with this, so don't revert back into your fifth dimensional body. Stay here and deal with it. That's how I see it. You know, we need to create awareness. We need to shine light on this. That's how I see this being fixed. More people creating awareness, shining a light on it. It's that simple. You don't need to overinvest emotions into it. I learned that the hard way, but we need to shine a light on this and we need to talk about it. Okay. You can detox your body from heavy metals, maintain an alkaline diet, drink a lot of water, bit of parsley, bit of turmeric, and you're sweet. Detox your body. Raise your frequency. We need to do that individually and as a collective to deal with this. I don't think you'll solve this by coming at it from the same level of consciousness, but that doesn't mean, you know, revert back to your higher self and say, oh, everything's going to be alright, this isn't even real. But raise our level of consciousness and deal with it by shining a light on it. It's that simple. That's all I think it is. And I'm doing that now, making this video. Okay, so I'm just doing what I can. It took me a fair while to get around to this, and I completely, you know, I understand. I got a lot of love and respect for people that are talking about this publicly, because fair dinkum, this is an issue. You know, this is pretty hard to deal with. So I'm doing my little bit, making a video. So that's what I think we can do. I would like to talk about my experience with chemtrails now. So in 2016, I initiated contact late 2015, did it twice. You know, I already knew they were real prior to doing that. We just call it a clear knowing. That's the only way I understood, you know, obviously that there's people out there. Made contact twice, completely stopped, had an amazing experience after that. Started paying a lot of attention to the sky, whatnot, and I started noticing chemtrails. Within the first 6 months of 2016, I probably saw the phenomenon 6-7 times, and it was very obvious. I was being very observant at that time. It was having a very large effect on me. So I did not handle it well, and I really, didn't handle it well. I had a big emotional breakdown, and this lasted for a couple of weeks. Really lost my shit and had panic attacks and whatnot, dry reaching, just craziness. And I'm like, bugger this, okay? This isn't right. I'm going to do something about this. And I put pen to paper. I started writing stuff down. That afternoon, I had an orb sighting, a large orb sighting, and it disappeared, and I saw that orb again after getting out of my car, viewing it, got in my car, had a feeling I need to pull up again, look in that direction, got out of the car, looked in that direction, same orb, but it's moved down a lot lower. It's a big sphere of glass just moving horizontally at tree level, about 1 kilometre away, just a bit over 1 kilometre from where I was. And I'm like, okay. Got back into C5 the next night, and I didn't really figure it out. But looking back at that, it was like a, yes, pretty much support you in that frame of mind, that thinking that you were going through when you were writing that on paper. So, okay, you know, people might say, oh, you're crazy, you know, you're bloody talking about extraterrestrials and chemtrails and whatnot. You know, think about it. Why am I having extraterrestrial contact? Why am I getting a response when initiating contact? Because of my frame of mind. What I'm aware of, okay, there is an environmental issue there. I wasn't handling it well. I had phenomenon happen when I decided to write a YouTube channel on paper and start talking about stuff. You know, think about it. So that was my experience in relation to wanting to talk about this stuff. And this is one of the biggest issues for me anyway, chemtrailing. Free energy, that's cool. Plastic in the oceans, you know, that's really bad. So many other things going on in the planet, the economy, health system, you know, war, politics. Yeah, cool, that's all a big issue, but, you know, taste that air. Yeah, we all need that. Tastes good. So, you know, I think we share an understanding with that, you know, we all need the air. It's pretty important to look after that. So that was my experience in 2016 in relation to being observant with chemtrails, having a contact experience when deciding to, you know, start actively doing something about this. And that's why it's hard to talk about. It's taken me this long to get to this stage now to talk about chemtrails. Yeah, this is so a lot of love to the people that are. Okay, so it's taken me this long to get to a stage where I'm non-reactive as well. It's taken a while. So I've had to get through that. That's my experience as well. My experience, I've seen this overseas. I just got back from America and Canada. I saw this in New York, this phenomenon. They look just like the chemtrails we've got here. I was in New York, there's planes flying around absolutely everywhere. None of them are leaving any contrails even, no chemtrails, nothing. But in the sky there was these nice trails that were sinking still, coming out over the city. So I've seen it in New York, I saw it in Vancouver, I saw it in Seattle, I saw it in San Francisco, and I saw it in LA. I was being very observant. Okay, so that's my experience with chemtrails. And I have met a lot of people that are aware of this, and there's people everywhere that are aware of this. You just jump on the internet and have a look. There's people talking about it everywhere. So it's good to see that there are people starting to talk about this. It's definitely one of the major issues as far as I'm concerned. If you look at planet Earth, you know, it's this self-regulating, functioning system, you know, it's the rain, seas moving, the snow melting, retracting, you know, freezing up, retracting out at both ends. It's a continually self-regulating, functioning, living system, and it needs to put rain in certain places to look after its organs, all its rainforests. It needs to do that for itself. It's self-regulating. It's a living being. You know, it's just like blood circulating in a body. It needs to self-regulate with rain and weather and whatnot in order to stay happy, healthy and alive. When you've got rain events happening and you try and cut them off artificially with toxic chemicals, you're affecting that living organism. You know, that's how I see it. I don't live in a large populated area. Different stuff might happen there when it comes to chemtrailing, but I live in outback Queensland pretty much, and I still see it out here. So you shouldn't be trying to control the weather. It's that simple. Okay. I'm like the sea shepherd of the sky. You know, we've got people looking after the whales. Let's look after the air. Let's get some sky shepherds. Some more sky shepherds going, eh? Alright guys. I know, this isn't doom and gloom. This is just like taking me 2 years to just be able to talk about it. You know, I'm in a non-reactive state when I see it now. I just observe it. Cool, whatever. Get on with my day. I'm not dry reaching, having panic attacks anymore. So much hope on this planet. We are capable of so much amazing stuff, and we really just need to become aware of that. Anyway, guys. Hey, how about this eclipse? I don't really know much about astrology and whatnot, but you know, I was born in August. I'm a August 13th Leo, 13th of August Leo, and I've been feeling pretty crazy lately. It's been feeling good. How about all the other Leos out there? Feeling it? I did that meditation, the eclipse meditation, and contributed intent, energy into that. Yeah, I think there's good stuff coming, guys. Righto, this is Quantum G'day. Cheers.